as
No, I
being
came down
inside.
there, and it really struck me. I have to tell you, I came down there to visit you and some of the people last weekend, and it was 73 degrees. And the people that picked me up, one was wearing a bubble coat. It was 73 degrees. Now, I'm wearing like a blouse, and they're wearing a bubble coat. And they're like, "Oh, well, I guess this is warm to you." And I go, yeah, kind of. It was kind of a different, Again,
Well, it's a different perspective, but definitely I know that because the mornings, I mean, the temperature drops, of course, at night. So we go out in the morning and we start out and we're just like, oh my gosh, it's 50 degrees or it's 45 degrees. This is just, our bodies aren't used to it. And I know right now we've really been like, this is Southern California. The temperatures aren't supposed to be like this.
Yeah,
but,
you expect to be warmer, but
right. And I mean, it's
I
just
mean, last year when we came down there, right, it was like 90 degrees, remember, in November? And we were sweating. I mean, people from up here came down there, and it was like really hot to us. But down there it's like normal. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, those are the kind of temperatures we're used to. So the dogs are used to them too. So everyone's having a tough time with the temperature change. So. Oh. Sorry about that. Just had a little break. Harper decided he was going to roam around a little bit. So, it's all this cold temperature talk that's kind of getting to him. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely bring your dogs in, guys. I mean, it's crazy to even think about it, but I've seen pictures where dogs were frozen to the ground. And so, if you're cold and you don't want to be outside, then your dog shouldn't be either. And that's my overall take on it. Like, bring these guys inside. So now talk to us a little bit. I know that you were down here last week and you met with a number of different rescue people, and you've got a project that you're working on that has to do with being an animal advocate. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm trying to do a documentary right now, and I'm getting different takes on it. And as you know, I'm with some people that are really pro-shelter. And it's not that I'm not pro-shelter. It's just I have this thought that why do we need to be pro-shelter in the first place? And so, you meet with different people and you get different takes. And one person told me, well, why don't you concentrate on what the shelters are doing? And I go, but that's not really what I want to do. What I want to do is why are these dogs ending up there in the first place? So I'm kind of, one person told me one thing, another person told me, well, it sounds to me like you need to do a bigger picture because what I want to show is the whole cultural different diversity, and how it affects all these dogs that are coming in every single day. And I was told that 100 dogs come in a day into one shelter alone. And so what I want to do is show, why these dogs are coming there in the first place and what happens to them and what we can do to help it.
Well, I think that's true. It's not that we're against the shelters. What are the shelters supposed to do?
It's like I'm not anti-shelter. I'm just saying they have no choice. I mean, what are you going to do when 300 dogs come in a day? You can't feed them. You can't house them. You have 300 more come in the next day. You know what I mean? It's a never-ending supply and a never-ending problem.
Well, and I think part of what your documentary is trying to focus on is the problem, like where the problem starts. And so it's before the problem. It's not the shelter's problem. The problem comes before.
And that's what
before they end up there.
Trying to explain to them, and I guess it was unheard from some ears that because we don't have that problem where I live. Okay, we have 9 dogs in our whole county in our shelter. 9 dogs when I last went to the shelter.
I take more than that on one trip to the shelter.
Exactly.
I have more than that in my car.
Why do we not have the problem and you have that problem? You know what I mean? Even though we don't have the population, but what is the culture aspect? What is the what do people think when they take a dog in? Is it a lifetime commitment? Is it, there's there's a difference of cultural values. And so that has to be shown in some respect, Well,
and I think it's more than that. And I think part of what your documentary is going to try to touch on is people don't understand what happens when they take the dog to the shelter. When you have an overwhelming amount of dogs coming into the shelter and just a certain number going out, what that means. And a lot of people don't like the depression or the sad part or the sad reality of that.
That sad part needs to be told. And as I told you, it's like I was told in two of the meetings I had, well, people don't really want to be...
They don't want reality. They don't want to know what actually happens.
Right? And I said, but the reality has to be told. And so whether they like it or not, it does. Because...
Well, I think people being informed is one of the key parts to stopping the problem.
Yeah, and that's what I always say with anything. If people are informed, then they can make a different decision. Does that make any sense?
Well, it's about having the knowledge, because you might not drop your dog off if it's 12 years old and you don't want to deal with the aspect of possibly needing to euthanize that dog, or that dog needing extensive medical care. If you understood that that dog is going to go into the shelter, he's going to sit there maybe for 4 to 10 days. And if it's a senior, it's very likely he's going to be killed. So if they understand the reality of that, they might take a little more responsibility. So we're going to talk more about this as soon as we return from commercial break. And I am going to bring Harper and make sure that he's on some video feed on crntalk.com, so you can look up the show on that. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui'lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you have severe knee or back pain and you have Medicare or private insurance, we have great news. Finally, there's a way to reduce your pain without surgery or taking medications. Call us today and learn how you can qualify to get a pain-relieving knee or back brace at little or no cost to you. We'll even ship your brace for free. If you have excruciating knee or back pain and you have Medicare or private insurance, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving, nearly invisible knee or back brace at little or no cost to you. I've used one, they're comfortable and they work, and we guarantee your happiness. So call right now and get yours. I promise, we're here to take your call. Thank you.
800-290-0759. 800-290-0759. 800-290-0759. That's 800-290-0759.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you have severe knee or back pain and you have Medicare or private insurance, we have great news. Finally, there's a way to reduce your pain without surgery or taking medications. Call us today and learn how you can qualify to get a pain-relieving knee or back brace at little or no cost to you. We'll even ship your brace for free. If you have excruciating knee or back pain and you have Medicare or private insurance, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving, nearly invisible knee or back brace at little or no cost to you. I've used one, they're comfortable and they work, and we guarantee your happiness. So call right now and get yours. I promise, we're here to take your call. Thank you.
800-290-0759. 800-290-0759. 800-290-0759. That's 800-290-0759.
to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. I'm your host, Christina Hackett, and so we're just working out some of the little things here to try to make sure that you can see Harper. So you can check that out at crntalk.com, and we posted things on our Facebook page exactly how to check that out so you can see Harper, but you just go watch now, and we've got some video feed of Harper just kind of relaxing here in the studio with us. And so Harper's story is one of the ones, and I know, Linda, we were just talking about trying to work out what the actual problem is, because people think they'll bring the dog into the shelter and then suddenly, Mary Poppins comes down and takes care of all the dogs, and everyone finds a happy home, and their problem, like their irresponsibility, is then diminished. And so I have Harper here, who was he was youth listed. He was on the youth list at Siaka, and so Siaka is a very high kill shelter, and so he was deemed aggressive. So this was a guy, literally, when we when I came in and I first saw him, he was turned in as a stray, which means he came in with a harness, and the guy brought him in, with his harness and his leash, and said that he just found this dog to keep from, paying the surrendering fee. So he was on a stray hold. Yeah. And so this guy was so upset and in so much pain, he just curled himself in the corner, and they brought him in on a catch pole. So if you're bringing in a bully on a catch pole, like after, because he was fine with the guy, of course, with, considering he was a stray, and then he came in, they had to take a catch pole to take him in the back. And of course he's terrified. I mean, it's a scary place in the shelter when there's hundreds of dogs, just everyone's barking, and the staff, I mean, they've got so much to do. There's no individuality to the dogs. They're just another piece of property or a piece of something that's being moved to the back. Not the shelter's fault, again, just because it's their numbers. I mean, they have too many coming in. And so Harper's being a little camera shy right now, I think.
A lot of people dump these dogs and they say they're stray when they're actually their dogs. I mean, they're hiding behind their legs. You know what I mean? They're scared.
Oh, yeah. Well, the guy brought him in just fine, and then they had to use a catch pole to get him in the back. So, I mean, obviously...
Because they know. They smell it. They just know.
Well, and also, I mean, obviously it was this guy's dog. So he got a cold, which is very common in the shelter for them to get colds. They spread. I mean, once you have kennel cough, it spreads like crazy.
It, like 8 out of 10?
Something, and then some shelters are more if they're indoors or outdoors shelters, because if they're indoors, it tends to get, through the ventilation systems and things like that. And so, I mean, a cold, it's airborne. Dogs get colds just like people do. And so, so this little guy, I mean, he was sitting in the corner. He wouldn't even, they put his medicine in some wet food, and he wouldn't even eat it. It was just sitting at the bottom of the kennel. And so he would just sit there and face the corner. And then I came back a few days later, and this guy, his stray hold was going to be up the next day. And I said, I was there with two other rescue people from an incredible rescue, Socialties in New York, and they were doing a big rescue mission here in Southern California. And one of the people, head people in Socialties, I call her Tornado because she comes in like that, but she's amazing. I mean, she does great work. And so she came in and she's like, hey, can we take this guy out? And so they agreed. And they, the staff were scared, and everyone was like, he's extremely aggressive. Why do you want to take him out? It turned into a huge battle to get this guy out. Well, once, and she is like a tornado because she doesn't give up. And so we were able to take him outside. And once he was taken outside, it was seen that he had a huge abscess that was extremely infected on his underside. And so...
Which is probably why he acted that way in the shelter, too,
Which exactly.
A lot of people don't realize that, too.
Well, he's in pain. I mean, I'll post some pictures on Rescue Radio a little later, but he's in extreme pain. And so, of course, I mean, his owner turns him in to the shelter, He's
Yeah,
in
because he
extreme
had a medical
pain.
problem. He probably couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is what my whole documentary thing was about, right? It's like people that turn dogs in don't realize that they can get help, you know?
Well, there is
And
help
so-
out there if you want to keep your dog. There
Yeah.
are medical programs. And so,
And there is. And so they probably wait too long, and then they bring him in, and then they don't know where to turn. And so their only option at that point, what they think, is that they just dump them off.
right.
And they don't really realize that if you do that and they're sick or they're acting that way because they're sick or in pain, that they'll be killed.
Then they're
a
at
matter of
extremely
days.
high risk. And I want to pick this up as soon as we return from commercial break. You're listening
Again?
to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California, with the finest art gallery, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. The heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit innatlagunabeach.com.
Let me take just a moment or two, if I may, and talk about a great place to eat. That's right, for you folks anywhere in the eastern San Fernando Valley, drop into Bob's Big Boys. That's right, in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. Now, everybody remembers the name Bob's. They're getting bigger and bigger every day, and little old Bob carrying the hamburger in his checkered overalls is the same Bob that you remember from back through the years. And, of course, if you want to go in for a great lunch, remember their classic burger, the original double-deck hamburger combination. Delicious 100% pure ground beef in 2 patties with American cheese, lettuce, and our famous Big Boy's special sauce. The name is Bob, and I think when you go in, you'll say, by golly, I'm sure glad that I found this restaurant because it's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They've got all kinds of things, and all you have to do is remember. Bob's Big Boy in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. It's a great place to eat.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you have severe knee or back pain and you have Medicare or private insurance, we have great news. Finally, there's a way to reduce your pain without surgery or taking medications. Call us today and learn how you can qualify to get a pain-relieving knee or back brace at little or no cost to you. We'll even ship your brace for free. If you have excruciating knee or back pain and you have Medicare or private insurance, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving, nearly invisible knee or back brace at little or no cost to you. I've used one, they're comfortable, and they work, and we guarantee your happiness. So call right now and get yours. I promise, we're here to take your call. Thank you.
800-290-0759. 800-290-0759. 800-290-0759. That's 800-290-0759.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800 915 2644.
Back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. I was busy, during the commercial break, having some fun playtime with Harper. Forgot I had to get back up here to the microphone. But this little guy, so what we were talking about before, Linda, is that very often people think, oh, well, it's a shelter, so the shelter is going to fix them. And shelters can't do that. That's not how it works. And so I think one of the important parts about doing this documentary and getting the facts out there, and I think that's an important part for me about having this radio show, is having a voice out there so that people understand reality. And I know sometimes reality can be dark, but the good news is there are rescues out there. And if we inform people, if we let people know what they're actually looking at, then every one person that has the information at hand that doesn't just turn their dog into the shelter makes a difference, not only for the dog, their dog that they don't turn in, but also that the next dog doesn't get killed for space. And so that's a huge thing. And that's why it's so very important that we just inform people. And there's not a quick fix. I know that there are some amazing rescue groups. I know Bark Avenue Foundation or Riley's Rescue are two groups right here in Southern California that focus on education and spaying and neutering, which is part of the solution. And you have groups like the ASPCA who can help. I mean, they help in many cases. And ASPCA is nationwide, guys, not just here in Southern California, but they have different programs to help with medical cases. If you intend on keeping your dog, they will help, or they will direct you to low cost place, and they can pay like a percentage of what the medical treatment is, versus them dropping the dog off in the shelter and that pet then being scheduled to be euthanized. And so we have Harper in studio today. Absolutely amazing dude. He's now hiding on the other side of me, of course, because we've got the cameras over here. But so this guy was in extreme pain, and he was deemed aggressive and a stray, and so the vet staff did just their original intake and no further exam, because, obviously they don't want to get, they don't want him biting, because that would be really bad for him in the shelter. And it wasn't even noted, the huge abscess mass, because he's a little fatty. And so it wasn't even noted on his file before it was noticed, and when we took him out.
Christina?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now? So it wasn't even on his file, so it wasn't in there, and then it was a matter of a fight to get him out of the shelter, because they were like, well, why do you want this guy? He's aggressive, and he's, did you know that he has this problem? And I'm like, yeah, we brought it to your attention. Of course we know about it. And I know if you relook at some of the live feed, this boy is the sweetest dude. He was in pain and he was scared. And very often when they get out of the shelter, if you're one of the pups like Harper, who's fortunate enough to be pulled out of the shelter by a rescue group, then you see a different dog. This guy is amazing. He's just a little rock star. And so we pulled him out, and he went straight to the clinic where he was treated. He had surgery. And so now we're still dealing with a little bit of the cough, but and generally you don't do surgery until they recover, or they're completely recovered from the cough. But his case and his abscess was so severe, it did need immediate surgery. And so it was a matter of balancing the risks. Do we I mean, do we have the surgery or do we take a chance that the abscess bursts and then he could bleed out? And so we obviously had the surgery. And then he'll have another one in a few weeks, but we're just waiting for him to heal from the initial surgery and get over this nasty cold. So, he needs a little bit of help with that. So today, after we leave studio here, we're going to be going, down to the clinic just to give him, some treatment to try to help clear out, this, nasty cold that he has and make sure that it doesn't develop into something even more severe, which is pneumonia, which is the last thing that we want for this guy. So, but the point of that whole little thing that I went on is that this person, I'm sure, when they turned him in, they didn't realize, that there's not Mary Poppins isn't on the other side of that door. And there's not going to be some...
It makes me wonder what they're being told, too, I mean, it's... Again, they might have already known what was wrong with them.
Well, I mean, a huge abscess like that, you have
surgery?
to... Well, I mean, it was really huge, and I could post some pictures on Rescue Radio's Facebook page.
Yeah, so they knew it already.
Oh, yeah, I
so,
mean, you couldn't miss
their
it.
point is that they can't afford to help them, so they just take him to the shelter thinking that they're going to get help there. Now, luckily, he is, but most dogs don't. And, so it's just basically, we're just going to let him go, and they'll take care of him, and they'll treat him. But most dogs...
Well, yeah, because there are some shelters people don't even realize. There are some shelters that don't even have veterinarians on staff. So, and the most of the shelters... that are out there, even if they have veterinarians on staff, they do the minimum. They've got a budget for the minimum. They do vaccines and spay and neuter. Those are the two things that they do.
Or they just literally judge them, and if they sign them over, they're property of the shelter, and they can kill them the next day, And is it a way of getting rid of their problem? I mean, I really don't understand this sometimes. It's just... And by the time they take them to the shelter, they've already thought about it for a while, Like, it's just the only recourse we have,
Cool. Harper. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of times people, it's just an irresponsible society because they turn their problem over to someone else. And it's not a matter of bashing the shelters. It's a matter of the people.
It's the owners. And
exactly.
And you and I have talked to people we know, that we know together, and they say that they come and they go, well, we can get you this help. And they go, well, we're still afraid of this. And so, well, we'll get you this help. And then, well, let me talk to my husband or spouse or whatever.
Well,
but they've already made up their mind by the time.
Well, and a lot of times too, I mean, it's difficult when you're trying to help. So we're going to talk more about this as soon as we return from break. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. And so we're talking about Harper and some of the things that people don't understand. And so they just think that the dogs will get taken care of. And so I've got another girl, which I talked about briefly, who's an amazing husky puppy, and she's just absolutely incredible. And she originally came into Animal Foundation of America with a broken leg. And so she was being turned into a shelter, a high kill shelter here in Southern California. And again, that's something that even though it's a broken leg and many people may think, well, the veterinarian can easily treat it, that doesn't mean she's going to get that treatment. And unless a rescue is able to step up, they won't allow, they're not going to have the dog just sitting there suffering, especially when it's an owner turn-in. And so Rosie, husky puppy, broken leg, multiple places. There are some question as to how the leg was broken, if their stories didn't quite match up, and if she was abused and that's how the leg was broken. But I choose not to focus on that because there's a dark side to people out there, and so we're not going to really hash over that. But so Rosie, amazing girl, she was actually hospitalized for a month and a half when her leg was broken, just because try to keep a husky puppy still and in a cast, virtually impossible. So left it to the professionals. And then she got out. She was fully vaccinated. So she had all 3 sets of vaccines. She was later spayed and then ready for adoption, which is a very long process when you think about it. So the rescue, we've had her for about 5 months. And so then she's finally available and ready for adoption and is going to do a meet and greet. And then we notice she's not feeling so well. So we take her in, and less than 1% of dogs in the United States actually get this particular strand of parvo. And it's even less, the numbers are even less than that with vaccinated dogs. And so she was fully vaccinated. She had her DHPP and both of her boosters, and plenty of time had passed since then. And so very unlikely case, but now we've got Rosie, who's a husky puppy who is currently hospitalized and fighting for her life. And this is something that, it's unanticipated. But of course, once we take a dog into our rescue, we're responsible for them for life, and we're always going to take care of them. And just weekend care, just for the 2 days, we had an estimate for over $5,000 for medical care for a dog that, we thought she was ready to be adopted. And then now all of a sudden she goes from she's looking for her forever home to now we just want to make sure that, she survives this. And so those are kind of the changes that can happen in rescue all the time. But this is not something that that a shelter is going to be able to contend with. Dogs that have parvo do not make it out of the shelter. They're not, it's just too expensive and too time intensive for any shelter to care for that. So we are thankful that Rosie's with us and she is being cared for, and we're looking forward to her making a full recovery. But again, it goes back to human responsibility. There's a responsibility when you take a dog into your home. You have an obligation to that dog for the life of the dog. And so we have to stop it before they get to the shelter. We have to stop the unwanted litter of puppies before they get to the shelter. And it's really, I think that your documentary that you spoke of earlier is the key to that, is for people to be informed. Because if you understand the reality of what's going to happen, you might make a different choice. And then we would end up with less less dogs in the shelter, less taxi on the shelter, and less work for the shelter staff and rescue groups who are trying to save dogs. And you would bring the numbers down of being euthanized. I mean, that's the key, right? We want to save lives, and so every life matters, and we want to take care of them. So now, Linda, are you still there? Or did we lose you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Geez, I'm sitting here talking.
Oh, well, I was talking over you then because I couldn't hear you.
That's kind of the thing I was trying to say at these meetings I had. It's like, everybody's like, well, you can't talk about bad stuff. And they go, it's not all bad. I mean, we have to show how highly adoptable these dogs are, but also tell how we start from the bottom up, how they not get there. And I had people like, well, you should tell how the shelters are doing really good. Well, that's all good, but why can't we talk about how not to get them in the shelter,
Well, and I think that's the key point, before they get there.
It's kind of weird, but I ran into a lot of, I guess, some people that are against that, like showing the bad side of things. They go, well, to show the good side, you have to show the bad side. So...
Well, the reality isn't that good. So, I mean, it's positive when, one gets adopted out of the shelter. But do we really, to come up with the solution, you need people to know the facts. They need to know the truth. They need to know reality. So...
me, I'm a realist. So it's like, you can't sit there and show the good stuff all the time. How do they know why it's so good? Why do we have all these rescues in the first place? Because there's the bad side things. So you have to show the bad side things. Unfortunately, that's what you have to do.
Well, you just have to show the reality so that less people do that. And so we're going to come back from commercial break, and I'm going to touch base a little bit. I'm going to share some stuff on Rescue Radio's Facebook page, also some extra pictures. So we'll be back shortly. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
This is Larry Minetti for Herpanacin, the acne medication that really works from the inside out. If you suffer from skin problems, Herpanacin is the most unique and effective formula on the market. It cleans your skin from the inside out and gets rid of all kinds of acne and blemishes on your back, neck, and your face. It works so well, you can look and feel like a movie star. Herpanacin, a natural supplement created by Dr. Wayne Diamond. You take a pill, and that's it. I've been on these supplements, and they really work, folks. Don't be afraid to look in the mirror ever again. Get Herpanacin today. Call 888-467-4200. That's 888-467-4200. Herpanacin, it really works. 888-467-4200. Tell them Larry Minetti told you to call, and look and feel like $1 million with Herpanacin. Call 888-467-4200.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California, with the finest art gallery, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. the heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit inatlagunabeach.com.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So, wow, I mean, I just realized, like, we're wrapping up the show today, but also today's, like, right around the corner. We've got Christmas, so wow. So, I guess just in closing, we want to hear more, Linda, in the future or in future shows. We want to hear more about your documentary and what you're trying to do with that. And we'll post some information on Rescue Radio's Facebook page too. So everyone could, just follow that. And really, it's a matter of finding a solution. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to...
Yes, I will have a fiscal sponsor, so if people want to donate to make my video, that'll be up there too.
Yeah, so we'll get all that stuff on Rescue Radio's Facebook page so people can be informed, because really it's a matter of people having the information so that they can make just better choices for these dogs, and rescues don't have to work so hard to save lives. And so you can like us. Rescue Radio is on Facebook. And, of course, I'm with Animal Foundation of America. You can like us on Facebook and follow some of those pages. And then we will put all the information up on Rescue Radio regarding the upcoming documentary that you're working on that I think is really important. And if you want to follow Harper's progress, he's silently sleeping here on the floor in studio today. So if you want to follow his progress, then that'll all be up on Animal Foundation of America. And
you also have a You Caring thing too going on, right, Christina?
Absolutely, yeah. We have someone who has done a pledge match. So if you're feeling generous with the holiday season coming around, and we have an amazing sponsor who has offered to match dollar for dollar for medical care up to $10,000. So every dollar counts. So if you want to change that $5 into 10 and help us cover these medical costs, cases such as Harper and Rosie, which we spoke about, it would be absolutely amazing. And we are a 501c, so it is tax deductible. So we'll post some of that information on Rescue Radio's page later today also, so that just to kind of update people. But again, I mean, it's an everyday thing. Rescue never ends. And but I mean, your heart has to be in it. You have to be a little bit crazy to do rescue, but I foot that bill most of the time. And so if you listen to, or if you check out our Facebook page during the week, then, and also crntalk.com, and they'll have the videos up. So if you want to take a look at Harper and see how amazing and loving this little guy is, when he was deemed aggressive, and they couldn't figure out why we wanted to pull this precious little angel from the shelter. So if you want to see some of the video, then it can show you this is why we do what we do every single day, because of boys.
And we encourage people too, if you know a rescue that you trust and you work with, donate for the holidays.
Yeah, donate. I mean, money always helps. I know that's always, but you can also help with your time, because, it's like rescue people, we have, holiday commitments also. So your time is very valuable. So even if you decide just to go over and help walk somebody.
One of the worst times of the year too. And, I don't want to let that go, because it is one of the worst times, because New Year's is coming, and then we all know what happens then. So,
well, it's a very hard time for the animals in the shelters. So we're going to do everything we can to try to keep them out of there and keep people informed of what it actually means to surrender your dog to a shelter. So, again, just love your babies. I want everyone out there just to look at your pup.
And try to remember if you're buying a pet for Christmas or getting a pet for Christmas, realize what that means.
It's a lifetime commitment.
You see this every year.
I strongly discourage pets for Christmas,
Exactly.
but it is a lifetime commitment. So you're absolutely right about that. And I mean, that we could have a whole
because
show on
someone
that.
wants a puppy. Do they really want a puppy? And it's Christmas time, and people get puppies. And
All
then
right,
by the first of the
perfect.
year,
So
they turn them in.
thank you so much, Linda, for calling in, and have a great holiday season. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Which is most important because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN HD audio. Sports, business, travel, food, wine, politics, there is something for everyone, and it's all available in CRN High Definition Sound. Log on to www.crntalk for listings